class, I am Mary Grace G. Dublin, your grade 7 environmental science teacher for today. Now let's make science fun and hope you have a blast. For your lesson for today, our objective is first, define environmental science. Second, explain the nature of environmental science. Third, enumerate the scope of environmental science. And fourth, discuss the importance of environmental science. So before we start our lesson for today, let's have a field trip. Come on, let's go! Wow, do you know this place? What do you think happened here? What do you think they're doing? From the places that we have been, what do you think environmental science is? Okay, very good! Environmental science is a study that aims to help us understand and solve our environmental problem. Did you know that the Philippine water is overly polluted? That 58% of it is already contaminated, and only 1/3 of the Philippine water system are considered suitable for public supply? This type of problem is what environmental science is studying and trying to solve. Environmental science has a multidisciplinary nature. Now, do you know what multidisciplinary is? Multidisciplinary means that there are several fields of study or academic interest. It means that environmental science is actually a very broad topic and has a lot of branches and focus. To know more about environmental science, let's talk about some of the different multidisciplinary nature of science. So, now, let's play a jumbled letter games, wherein I am going to show you some jumbled letters and a picture for you to identify the multidisciplinary nature of science that we are going to discuss for today. Are you ready? Okay, for the first one, can you unjumble this? Very good! It's ecology. Now, do you know what ecology is? Ecology is the study that deals with the relations of organisms to one another and to their physical surroundings. Example of ecology is the food chain, wherein it shows how the organisms are related to each other by the food that they eat. And ecology also studies the factor that affects our population and how and why a population changes over time. Now, for the second one, can you unjumble this letter? Very good! It's biology! Now, do you know what biology is? Biology focuses on natural science that studies life and living organisms, including their physical structure, chemical processes, molecular interaction, physiological mechanism, development, and evolution. And it also helps us understand how a cell, a DNA and gene works in our body that helps us to understand more on how humans and other living organisms are made up of. The third one is, can you unjumble this letter? Very good! It's chemistry. Now, do you know what chemistry is? Chemistry is the study of matter, its properties, how and why substances combine or separate to form other substances, and how substances interact with energy, mechanisms, development, and evolution. The main topic in chemistry includes acid and bases, atomic structure, the periodic table, chemical bonds, and chemical reaction. It also helps you understand how compounds are made of and how elements were first discovered and why it is important to know the molecular structure of matter. So, for the fourth one, can you unjumble this? Very good! It's atmospheric science. Now, do you know what atmospheric science is? Atmospheric science is the study of the Earth's atmosphere and its various inner working physical processes. This helps us to understand the different layers of the atmosphere, how they are differentiated to each other by their densities, temperature, and pressure. Atmospheric science also helps us to forecast the weather. Now for the fifth one, can you unjumble this letter? Okay, very good! It's oceanography. Now, do you know what oceanography is? Oceanography is the study of the physical, chemical, and biological feature of the oceans, including the ocean's ancient history, its current conditions, and its future. Did you know that in oceanography, only 5% of the ocean is discovered? That 95% of this is still undiscovered, and there are a lot of sea creatures that we still don't know about. Oceanography helps us to know more about our ocean. Now, let's see if you can remember the 5 multidisciplinary nature of science that we have talked about. Can you enumerate the 5 multidisciplinary nature of science? Okay, very good! Now, let's enumerate the 5 multidisciplinary nature of environmental science. Are you ready? Okay! First, ecology. Second, biology. Third, chemistry. Fourth, atmospheric science. Fifth, oceanography. Now you know the 5 multidisciplinary nature of environmental science. Let's talk about the goal of environmental science. Do you know the goal of environmental science? So here are 3 goals of environmental science. First, learn how the natural world works. It means we're going to understand why things happen. For example, why do we experience rain? What are the causes of pollution? And a lot more. Second, it helps us to understand how we humans interact with the environment. Example of this is how we use our natural resources like water, air, animal, and plants. Third is how we humans affect the environment as we use our natural resources, because we humans affect the environment in many ways, like we overpopulate it and causes pollution. Now we know the goal of environmental science. Now let me ask you, do you think environmental science is important? And why? Okay, very good. Environmental science is in fact important because of many reasons. Some of its reasons are: first, it clarifies modern environmental concepts, such as how to conserve our biodiversity. An example of this is prevent the cutting of trees and the banning of hunting of animals. Second, environmental science also helps us know more about sustainable way of living, wherein we are going to reduce our consumption to save the environment. Example of this is using renewable energy and recycling. Third, it also helps us to use our natural resources more efficiently. This means using the Earth's limited resources in a sustainable manner while minimizing the impact on our environment by remanufacturing, repairing, maintenance, and recycling. Fourth, to know the behavior of organisms under the natural conditions. And environmental science also helps us to know the interrelationship between organisms in the population and communities, the way in which each of two or more things is related to each other. I hope you had fun in our field trip and learned something today. Don't hesitate to ask if you have any questions. Good day, God bless, keep safe, goodbye!